Despite losing to the second-seeded Houston Rockets without Jokic and Gordon, among others, on the second night of a back-to-back, reigning defending league-wide MVP Nikola Jokic's second option, the Blue Arrow Jamal Murray, third option MPJ Michael Porter Jr., fourth option CB Christian Braun, and a revitalized two-way menace in Russell Westbrook are making the Denver Nuggets look like real 2025 title contenders. Russell Westbrook's averaging around 17 points per game in January, fourth on the Nuggets, while in terms of passing and rebounding, his 7.5 rebounds and assists per game are both firmly second, trailing Nikola Jokic. But as we'll get to, it's how Russ is locking up defensively that's winning the Nuggets games as of late. Stay tuned. Right quick, over 80% of you watching right now are not subscribed, so if you're in that percentage, please subscribe, splash thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and follow at DflowHoops on Instagram and X for a follow back. Appreciate your support tremendously. Back to the content. We'll get to the game against the top-seeded Rockets, but in their previous outing against the Mavericks, who were, to be fair, without Luka Doncic, in that outing, Jamal Murray put the team on his back to drop a game-high by far 45 points. No other player in that game other than Murray scored even 15, showing you how dominant Murray's single-handed scoring punch legitimately was. 32 of Murray's scoring total came in the first half, and with that, Jamal joined teammate Jokic, as well as Allen Iverson and Nick Van Exel, as the only Nuggets to drop 30-plus points in a half in the play-by-play era, after a slow start to the season and a rough Olympics for Team Canada, a time period where he was dealing with a nagging ankle injury. Recently, Murray's been dealing with left knee soreness, the same knee he tore his ACL on in 2021. That injury was suffered against Brooklyn, so how Jamal bounced back against the Mavs with a 45 piece on 18 for 26 shooting from the field and 81% true shooting displays that he's molding into the beastly quote-unquote playoff Murray we all know and love. After shooting sub 35% in October and November, Murray's shooting over 42% from 3 on 5.5 attempts from three-point range per game in both December and January. Against the Dallas Mavericks on the first night of this back-to-back for Denver, Russell Westbrook improved to 14-4 as a starter for this Mike Malone-led offense. Russ held Dallas Maverick offensive players to a mind-boggling 0% shooting from the field, gaining a nickname as the 6'3 Wemby stopper. How Westbrook's bothered the NBA player with the most potential who's already a top player in Wemby has been incredible. From anticipating entry passes and knocking it loose to undercutting his driving angle, Westbrook's versatility, scrappiness, and willingness to guard such bigger players is special and few and far between. Additionally, what the Brody's doing at his age is remarkable. Against the Rockets, he passed Vince Carter for 21st in all-time NBA points. Michael Porter Jr.'s shooting over 41% from distance, which is good enough to rank third best in the association among small forwards. From the field, he's shooting 52%, which is good enough to lead the association among small forwards. MPJ's not only one of the NBA's most underrated wings in general, but he's the NBA's most underrated third option. His 18.5 point per game average is being recorded on a 52-41-71 shooting split. His free throw percentage needs to be better, as that mark is a career low for Michael in seasons where he was healthy. That said, with how consistently deadly his shooting from the field and from deep is, it's safe to say a lot of people don't credit Michael enough for how good he makes this Nuggets team. There were even trade rumors earlier in the year about MPJ being moved to the Bulls for Zach LaVine. As good as LaVine is, how Porter Jr. fits in as a number 3 option is a big reason for why the Nuggets are so competitive year in, year out. This man Porter Jr. was a top-ranked player out of Nathan Hale High School and a steal of a lottery pick in 2018 for a reason. The chemistry between Jokic and Russ cannot be overstated. The amount of times throughout this entire season where Nikola's found Russell on cuts to the basket is astounding. This is all attributed to all of Westbrook's ability to pick out seams in the defense to cut, Jokic's ability to read that Russ is cutting, and then again Westbrook's ability to catch and finish the play, oftentimes in heavy traffic. Nevertheless, these plays describe Jokic's ability to make his teammates better, as Nikola's maximizing Russell's cutting and finishing talent that he's equipped with this season to the fullest extent. Recently against the Nets, Jokic and Westbrook became the first pair of teammates in NBA history to both record a triple-double in the same game multiple times in a season. On an individual note, Jokic just became the fastest player in NBA history to reach 15,000 points, 7,500 rebounds, and 5,000 assists simultaneously. This passed Larry Bird, who it took Jokic 90 less games than to achieve this milestone. We can't forget about the team's fourth leading scorer, who's a talented defender in his own right on the perimeter and really 1 through 5 like Westbrook, being Christian Braun. Through 39 games for the Nugs, the 2023 NBA champions nearly doubling his point per game total in 24-25, and shooting 55.5% from the field, which is second among shooting guards, only trailing New York's Josh Hart. In transition points, Braun ranks 6th in the NBA. Christian's lived up to his insertion into Mike Malone's starting five by shooting over 80% from the foul line, a career high by 11 percentage points. Against the Rockets, Houston was without Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, and Jock Lawndale, but the Nuggets were without their best player and one of the top MVP candidates, Nikola Jokic, who was resting an elbow injury on the second night of a back-to-back. Denver was also without first overall pick in 2024 Deron Holmes II due to a torn right Achilles, Aaron Gordon due to injury management of a calf strain, and stretch big Vlatko Cancar due to his left knee surgery. Credit the Rockets for getting it done, and along with showing you that Houston's big four of Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Alperen Şengün, and Amen Thompson with Cam Whitmore off the pine is deadly, this loss for Denver showed you how valuable Jokic's scoring, rebounding, and assisting is in terms of making everything tick, given how badly they lost without him. Additionally, the Nuggets were worn down on the second night of a back-to-back, the Rockets had a game postponed recently, as well as a day off in between games. Nevertheless, a series between Houston and Denver down the line would be interesting to see. From both a scoring and defensive perspective, with the development of Christian Braun, Peyton Watson, and Julian Strawther collectively making up for the loss of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to the Magic in free agency, combined with Murray staying at the top of his game, the additions of Westbrook and Saric, Jokic's chemistry with Westbrook, Jokic being Jokic, the engaged and assertive yet fundamentally sound playset and rotation-based coaching from Mike Malone, the Nuggets are real title contenders. They did it in 2023, and Serbian Superman and Jokic is capable of leading this group of talent to another ring in 2025. This was your boy DFlow, and I'll see you next video.